Top of the morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this great Monday morning. Friday morning. Oh my goodness. On Friday I said Monday. On Monday morning I said Friday morning. All right, it's okay. It's Friday, the Friday edition, the weekend edition of Perspectives Unlimited on 89.3 FM, Wells Radio, your preferred wholesome radio, and on your state's number one family radio station, broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan, the capital of your state. No doubt, Monday is one of my favorite days of the week. For a lot of people, you may not like Mondays, but it feels very different here for me. And so for Mondays, somehow, it's just one of my favorite days. All right, thank you so much once again. Today is Friday, the 27th day in the month of February 2026. And by the special grace of God, if you check the date again, 27th, by tomorrow, tomorrow will be the last day in the month of February while we march into the month of favor, the month of March. Tomorrow is 28th and today is 27th. So happy new month in advance. We pray that it's definitely going to be a new month of greatness for all of us, a new beginning, a new dawn. Amen. Roundabout. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. We bring to you the top stories making the rounds in the nation, Nigeria, for today, with in-depth analysis to help you understand better and make better decision, better understanding of governance, what's trending in our nation, and what decision you should make politically, security-wise, economically in Nigeria for today. We bring you stories from the Punch to the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspaper for today, all published today, Friday, 27th of February 2026. Once again, welcome to the show. All right, we begin with the Punch. On page 7 of the Punch for today, INEC fixes 16th of January for 2027 presidential poll. On page 7, bandits kill 29, abduct many in fresh attacks. On page 20, Senate panel orders probe after inspecting burnt Lagos Airport terminal on page 20. And on page 2, which is the major story on the Punch for today, Electoral Act, Senate reject fresh amendment as Atiku, Obi, Amechi push back. Now the rider to that story, opposition accuses APC of plotting against e-transmission of 2027 poll result, demand Electoral Act review, presidency kicks. On page 20, FCCPC probes fare fixing by local airlines. Over 200 men welding AK-47 storm Yowata, police witnesses. And moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, presidential election to hold on the 16th of January 2027, governorship 6th of Feb. Conduct of party primaries to commence on the 23rd of April. Presidential NAS campaigns to commence on the 19th of August. Osun Gov poll to hold on the 15th this year. And on page 3, NBC moves to resolve Edo Kogi interstate boundary dispute on page 3. On page 12, NEPC warns 50% post-harvest losses threaten Nigeria's export drive. And on page 3, EFCC operative testifies virtually in the UK trial of Dizani. ADC, NMPP reject new electoral act. The rider Atiku, Mac, Obi, Amechi, Aregbesola Hamid orders task NAS on fresh amendment, Presidency carpet opposition parties accuses ADC and NPP of unwarranted outrage. On page 11, FCCPC establishes case of price fixing by local airlines. The rider says to probe foreign carriers next. In health on page 30, new device detect infectious tuberculosis directly in the air, says scientists. Now, moving on to the Vanguard on page 19, FCCPC indict airlines over inflated airfare during the U-tide. On page 5, 2027, Atiku Obi, Amechi, Mac, Galadima, others reject electoral law. On page 14, INEC moves 2027 polls to 16th of January. Oshun Guba holds on the 15th of August, 2026. And of course, the visit of Her Excellency, the wife of the President, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, to Warri. The greeting is right there. It's an advertorial, by the way, but hey, she was there in Delta State, especially in Warri, so it's worthy of mention. Ramadan Kareem to all our Muslim friends and brothers. We pray that your prayers be answered this season as you fast, and of course blessings on all our friends and brothers also fasting through the Lenten seasons, that the blessings of God and answered prayers in all areas of life. 89.3 FM is the radio station. You are listening to Wells Radio, your preferred wholesome radio. We're live on our Facebook page, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. On Facebook, Wells Radio 893 FM on Facebook. You can watch us right on that platform. And also you can stream us live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.wellsradio893.com, to be a part of the program and all our programs on this great radio dial. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll dive straight into the conversation for today on the program. Do stay with us.
By saying that I give glory to God that I'm stepping aside today as Inspector General of Police. My gratitude goes to Mr. President for reposing enormous confidence in me right from the time he appointed me as his CSO when he was governor in Lagos to the time he appointed me as Inspector General of Police until this day that I'm stepping aside. And in fact, tomorrow, I'm grateful to him. I am particularly excited that I am handing over today to someone with whom I share a unique history. We both had the rare privilege of benefiting from the mentorship of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, dating back to his days as governor of Lagos State. I remember learning something. I learned many things from him, from Mr. President, but there is something I remember he said when he was governor in Lagos. He once said that a good leader should have a succession plan and must invest in his likely successors. I invested in likely successors in the Nigerian police force, and I'm happy that one of those that I've invested in has been found most suitable for the job and has been decorated today, and I'll be handing over in the next few moments. Thank you. Your advice to me? My advice to the newly appointed Acting Inspector General of Police is that he should continue to show commitment to the things that we have been doing together. He has been part of my administration from the beginning. He was my PSO. He was CP in Rivers in FCT. He was the AIG in charge of my SPU. When Mr. President gave the order, presidential order, to withdraw police from VIP protection, it was Tunji Disu I called upon to ensure that presidential order was given full compliance, and he did it so well. I am happy that he's the one that is taking over from me, and my advice to him again is that he knows all those things we've been doing together, restructuring our intelligence coordination, improving interagency deployment model, dismantling several criminal syndicates. I'm sure he's going to continue to do that, and improving our intelligence response mechanisms. I have so much confidence that he will surpass what I have done. So I thank you.
The appointment means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because I have the love of my profession, the love of the country, and it came at a time I was not expecting it. That makes me give thanks to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for his magnanimity to see me fit to be appointed as the Inspector General of Police. The President mentioning a lot of activities about me, mentioning areas I've worked, mentioning successes I've recorded as a policeman, brought emotion to me, almost brought me to tears. It shows the President took his time to monitor officers working everywhere in the country. And it shows the President was throwing a challenge at me to go out there and do what I'm known for and ensure that I bring peace, recognition, and to the country. My top priority, one of the first lectures I'm going to have with my men, I'm going to talk to them, let them know that the citizen of the country are the boss. It's very, very important for them to know that no police anywhere in the world can succeed without the cooperation of members of the public. I'm going to ensure that I take their welfare into consideration because people who are motivated are putting their best. I will let them know that the area of impunity is over. I will ensure that I train them and encourage them to ensure they follow human rights. I will ensure that they know that I will try to follow a regime of zero tolerance to corruption. And most importantly, I'm going to drum it into them that we can never succeed without the cooperation of members of the public. I will make sure I do that. And most importantly, again, the country is facing a particular problem now, issue of banditry, insurgency. I know all police officers around have been doing their best. They are hardworking people. All I need to do is to channel their morale and their thoughts to make anything better.
In the challenging period of this country, the terrorism and banditry is causing us the havoc. And we should pull together, unite in a way that our forefathers contemplated to bring about a constitutional democracy and pull us together. They didn't say we should fight.
We thank you also for the electoral amendment. It wasn't you, we did. You had the right to say no. But when we convince you that it is in the interest of the nation, you sign immediately the amendment into an act of parliament. And I can tell you that in the FCT election, the first test of the amended Electoral Act nationally was tested. We are aware of the troubles going on and sponsored insecurity in parts of the country. And that is why the prayers of both the Muslims and the Christians are very important. And I do know that God sees our heart, and the prayers will be very potent at a time like this.
What is crucial is the fact that you manage the process to the extent there will be no confusion, no disenfranchisement of Nigerians, and we are all going to see democracy flourish. It is time that we have confidence in our system. No matter how good a system is, it's managed by the people, promoted by the people, and the result is finalized by the people. And we need to avoid glitches. I'm glad you did. Interference, unnecessary hacking in this age of, computer inquisitiveness. Nigeria will be there. We will flourish. We will continue to nurture this democracy for the fulfillment of our dream for prosperity and stability of our country.
We have never had electronic transmission of results in any of our laws. We never even recognized the IRF in the 2022 Act. All those things are now there. And at the end of the day, more powers are given to political parties, that they should decide who their candidates are. And above all, participatory democracy, more inclusiveness. Members of different political parties are now allowed to do direct primaries. That means you can choose the person you want. Delegate selection, of course, one person can write the list and then just submit. But this time around, the members who are in the political party will stand up and vote for their candidates and the candidates of their choices.
The number of days notice, which was earlier in the 2022 Act, 360 days. Now we have seen the wisdom to reduce it to 300 days. And this will inadvertently translate to holding the presidential and National Assembly elections in January 2027. And that will technically avoid conducting election during month of Ramadan of 2027.
We took cognizance of the peculiarities of the country. We did not allow too much outside interference, and we're very patriotic in our submissions. And at the end, we believe strongly that what the president has just assented into Act of Parliament will make for a better election in the future, and will also lead to prosperity, and will also lead to transparency of the electoral process. At the end, Nigerians will benefit a lot from future elections. Every vote will now count.
Welcome back to the program Perspectives Unlimited. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is the radio station you're listening to. Of course, you listen to the voice of Kayode Egbetokun, the former Inspector General of Police, the new acting Inspector General of Police, and of course, to refresh your mind again on the statement made by the President on the new Electoral Act in Nigeria. And of course, the Electoral Act is all over the dailies this morning. Two key stories, by the way. The date of the new election or the next election, INEC moves 2027 polls to 16th of January. And also, Senate to reject fresh amendment as Atiku B. Amici push back. That's also in the news. Opposition accuses the APC of plotting against e-transmission of 2027 poll result. Demand a review of the Electoral Act, and presidency kicks. That's in the news this morning. But, of course, we cannot proceed until we review, say, a story or two from the week. And, of course, no doubt, the appointment of Tunji Disu as the new acting Inspector General of Police. President Bola Tinubu has removed the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun. Egbetokun has been replaced by Tunji Disu, an Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG. His removal is said to have followed Tinubu's directive for him to resign. It was gathered that Tinubu directed Egbetokun to resign his position at a meeting at the Villa on Monday. Tinubu appointed Egbetokun The 22nd IGP on the 19th of June 2023, his substantive appointment was confirmed by the Nigerian Police Council on the 31st of October 2023. Egbetokun, at the age of 58, was due for retirement on the 4th of September 2024, and upon reaching the mandatory age of 60, but his tenure was controversially extended by the president. Let's talk about the new appointment of the new acting Inspector General of Police. And with me in the studio this Friday morning is no other than Mr. Lali Kosoni. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Chief. It's always an honor to be here.
Good morning. How are you doing, and how was your week?
I am doing fantastically well. It's been a hectic week, but all thanks to God.
Luasho. All right. The new acting Inspector General of Police, Tunji Diso, his work, his history, and of course his new appointment and who he's taking over from. Since his appointment, footage of Egbetokun when being the ADC to the former governor of Lagos State, now the president of Nigeria, and I think I saw one of Tunji Disu too at some point.
Egbetokun was CSO.
CSO.
Disu
okay.
was ADC.
ADC. Yeah. So they seem to have a close, working relationship with the president. It didn't start yesterday, dating back as far as when he was governor of Lagos State. What are your thoughts on this new appointment pattern? Do you think this is about, I remember the former president, Muhammadu Buhari of blessed memory now, said it took him a while to appoint his ministers because he wants to appoint the people that he knows. Is this also the case of appointment with the IG, Inspector General of Police, who I know, trusts, or who is the best of all the men that can deliver?
Thank you very much, Chief. In all seriousness, you shouldn't be appointing people to public offices because that is classic definition for nepotism. What you should do as the President and Commander-in-Chief is to call for files. Look at their files, look at their areas of expertise. That someone is a senior officer doesn't mean the person is actually in the combat zone. You can find a major general in the army who is a doctor.
Right.
You can find a major general in the army who is a publicist. I mean, there are different sections and areas in the army. You look for people who have background in infantry and stuff like that. Those are the people you make chief of army staff. In the case of police, the president has made it clear that he didn't make this appointment, and Diso himself said it too well, that it was not his CV that worked for him. Rather, it was his personal relationship with the president that paved the way for him to become IGP. That is very, very dangerous for the country because such an IGP is not going to see himself as the IGP of the country. Rather, he will see himself as Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's personal enforcer. And that is dangerous, especially when we are just less than a year officially from the next general election. Mr. President knows exactly what he is doing. Is what he is doing patriotic? I doubt that. I don't believe what he is doing is patriotic because it's like using public offices as a tool to bring in people who are personal loyalists, which should not be. To answer your question in a very, very simple and direct manner, you should not be appointing people based on personal relationships. What you should be doing is that you should be appointing people on official relationships. What is their file saying? What are their antecedents? How many criminal cases have they delivered on? How many kingpins have they, brought an end to? Those are the things we should be talking about, not someone who was ADC to me, not someone who was PSO to me, not someone who was this to me, or someone who is, that's like using public offices as a form of gratification for people who are your personal loyalists. It has not been helping us, and it is not going to help us. That is one of the reasons why Nigeria is where it is today. And you made mention of Muhammadu Buhari. I will never speak for Muhammadu Buhari. I was not his publicist when he was alive. There is no chance of me becoming his publicist when he is no longer alive. But the truth of the matter is that, for people who understand the nature of the Nigerian state, it's like saying somebody is from the southwest now and calling somebody from the southeast or south-south as a kith and kin of that particular person from the southwest. No, that's not so. Buhari was of the Northwest. He was from the Northwest. He used 3 IGPs, 2 of them from the North Central, another one from the Northeast. He never used somebody from the Northwest. But guess what? We have a president who has used less than 3 years in office, and this is the second IGP, and the second one from Yoruba of Yoruba extraction. That to me is wrong. That's not how to do things. And that is going to sort of make other people believe that Nigeria is not for us. Nigeria is just for a certain section. That is why people go all out to ensure that their brother is the president. Because when your brother is the president, all offices are going to come to your zone, irrespective of competence and or performance. That's not how to build a country. That's just the truth of the matter.
Let's talk about some of the allegations surrounding the resignation of Egbetokun. The whatever money was transferred into his son's account and all of that. Would you say that's the basis of the resignation?
That is not the basis.
Or there is more than the eye can see?
The truth of the matter is that story is not a fresh story. It has been around for a long time, for many, many, many months. In my opinion, what made Egbetokun leave and what made Tunji Disu to become the acting IGP is nothing other than the biological clock that is taken on the side of Tunji Disu. You know, once you become the IGP, I mean, like you said earlier, a controversial law is now in place saying that any IGP must spend, I mean, for people who were defending that silly law, they said, oh, once an IGP is there, you must spend 4 years in office. Did Egbetokun spend 4 years in office before the president kicked him out? It tells you that the president is only doing what he wants to do. Should Tunji Disu had remained AIG till he clocked 60, he would have automatically gone home. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a case of, oh, Wale, you have been there for some time. Leave that place for your younger brother before he clocks 60.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we touch it very quickly, and then we go into the fresh stories of the day. The new date of the next general elections, and of course, the controversial statement coming from the opposition party.
I should add that if Tunji Disu had not become IGP, he would have retired less than maybe 44 days from today. From today.
All right, biological clock, you call that. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Attention, schools in Ibadan and its environs. Association of Christian Schools International, ACSI, is calling on Christian schools, mission schools, and church schools to join us at the annual Kingdom Scholars Rendezvous 2026. Are you ready to see your students shine like never before? Then join us. We're kicking off with the Ibadan edition with the theme Shining Light. Date 5th March 2026. Venue Christ Ambassadors International College, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. This impactful gathering will feature inspiring sessions with Pastor Dr. Olumuyiwa Adisa alongside engaging group projects, presentations, games, breakout sessions, and exciting musical moment. And that's not all. The Okeogun edition will come up on the 12th March 2026 with the same theme, Shining Light. Venue Sharon Rose Schools and College, Shaki. Speaker Mrs. Teniola Oluwashola, founder and proprietress, Sharon Rose Schools and College, Shaki. Schools in Okeogun and surrounding communities. This is your moment to be part of this life-shaping experience designed to raise confident, faith-driven scholars. Registration is open to both members and non-member schools. Each school slot covers 10 students, the proprietor, 1 teacher, all for 40,000 naira. Give your students a platform to grow in faith, confidence, and knowledge. To register your school, act now. Call 0706 387 1522. Kingdom Scholars Rendezvous 2026. Raising a generation that shines. Association of Christian Schools International. ACSI. Stronger together.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data. Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service. One Data? Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811-223-2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Family is not defined by blood, events, headlines, or frequencies. It's our shuffled feet in the busy streets, the levity of the birds upon the brown rooftops, indigenous, nuclear. The blue sky coming to greet us on a sunless morning, safe, clean, wholesome, somewhere between truth and fiction. Wells Radio 89.3 FM Oluyole Estate, a gallery built from mere words of culture, heritage, music, brush strokes visible on an artwork, the rhythm of repetition. Family is not defined by blood, it is togetherness, heirlooms in diaspora, with open arms to embrace through thick and thin. This home, your family, this radio is your radio. My name is Jesu Joba Isaac. I will keep listening to Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
Welcome back to the program. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is a great radio dial you're listening to, and this is Perspectives Unlimited. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo, and thank you for joining us on the program this morning. All right, before that break, we started a conversation around the new Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Tunji Disu, and of course, taking over from the former Kayode Egbetokun. Let's dive straight into the new date of the election, which has now been scheduled for January 16, 2027. INEC moves 2027 poll to that particular date. A revised timetable scheduled for 2027 general election has been published. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released a revised timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general elections, shifting key poll dates. Earlier, following the repeal of the Electoral Act, INEC previously scheduled the Presidential and National Assembly elections for Saturday, February 20, 2027, and the Governorship and State House of Assembly election for March 6, 2027. The original schedule was rejected by some Muslim stakeholders who argued that the date coincided with Ramadan period. This prompted the Senate to amend the Clause 28 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, reducing the mandatory period of election from 360 days to 300 days, thereby enabling INEC to change the dates. The revised timetable published by INEC via its X handle on Thursday, signed by Professor Joai Shamukpiton, said it now puts the electoral of the presidential and National Assembly election on the 16th of January 2027 and the state governorship and state House of Assembly elections on the 6th of February 2027. Let's get your view and thought in on that particular revision. That's the revised timetable for the election.
Thank you very much. I still don't believe that we should have shifted the earlier date, but as it is now, I mean, that's no longer of any relevance.
Do you think that Ramadan, the fasting period, cannot affect
people play soccer during Ramadan? When you go out to vote, you're not going there. You're not going there to do any strenuous work. It's about going somewhere. I mean, being on the queue for a couple of minutes, putting your thumb on paper, and going back home. I mean, that's not like you.
That's not that stressful.
It's not that stressful. People do more than that in their daily lives, and nobody's complaining. In all seriousness, I see Nigeria as a country where we care about things that don't matter over things that matter. Oh, it's Easter season. Oh, it's Ramadan season. We shouldn't be. If we really care about this country, what should matter to us is, okay, who are we voting for on that particular day? How do we get out of this mess? Not to say, oh, it's Ramadan season, it's Easter season, it's all of that. I don't really care about those things. Now that we know that things are going to be much faster than we thought, primaries are going to begin in April. That's in less than 2 months from now. In all seriousness, election season has come, and it's time for Nigerians to know too of that. We need to be on the same page. I'm not saying that we should all vote for the same person. The same page I am talking about is that we all need to understand that our country is on trial. And we will fail as witnesses, as jurors, as whatever, if we fail to come out to vote on that day. You must come out to vote. You voting on that day will show that, yes, Nigerians now take themselves seriously. If we say we want to stay at home on that day and say, oh, whatever happens is going to happen, then we are contributing to bad leadership, because refusing to vote good candidates is a very good way to endorse bad candidates.
All right, that's the new date again. Let me take that new date and reel that out again for the public. INEC has then since signed that published that on their X handle now. INEC previously scheduled the election for Saturday 20th, 2027 and governorship for the 6th of March. But from the new date now puts the presidential and National Assembly elections on the 16th of January 2027 and the governorship and state houses of assembly elections on the 6th of February 2027. Other party preparatory activities for the election are scheduled to start as early as the 1st of April 2026. What are your expectations? What do you expect that we start seeing from? I mean, if you go to the streets now, you can tell that months from now, elections would come up.
The very first thing you're going to see now is mass mobilization by party aspirants, people who want to become candidates of their party. They will start serious, very, very serious internal mobilization to ensure that they emerge as a candidate of their parties. I do not expect much to happen in the general space because it's not yet time for the general election. No politician will be wasting his time and money and resources on the people right now. Rather, it's about consolidating their strength within their political party so that they can become candidates. And yes, for the ones who are sure that, I am going to become the candidate of my party or Babati Sokbe for them, they will now, move to the people and begin to, one scholarship there or one scholarship here, or come and breakfast in my house. That is when they become suddenly nice people. The house that you dared not move near before, you now have its gates, flung open. It's all scam. Should we fall for that nonsense again, then we deserve to be in a place worse than where we are right now.
All right, 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and also 0911-333-3893, 0916-893-1000, and 0915-333-4893. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, and thank you for calling us.
This is Adenka from Muslim.
Thank you, Adenka, for calling. Your thought?
Yeah. My take on INEC postponement of election result. It is a good one to know that the new date has been picked for the election, but we must choose one pattern of voting. Either we use the electronic method or our usual method. So we cannot adopt the system which we doubt whether it will work or not. And as for the vote buying, I would just say that as we look forward to the electionary period, people should cop the idea of vote buying. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Vote buying, if there is a seller, there must be a buyer before transactions must eventually take place. So it's up to
Hello,
us
good morning.
never to take that route. Hello, good morning.
Yes, I was calling from Alakia.
Thank you, Ruth from Alakia.
Thank you, sir. On the general election that has been scheduled, I just hope INEC will improve its approach, because the Abuja by-election shows that INEC is not yet fully prepared to even ensure transparency. So I will just keep urging we Nigerians that we should go out in mass to collect our votes, and INEC should step up their games in delivering a credible election, because that's what we want. All we want is credible election. So they should please meet up with this standard. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Before I take comment on Facebook, maybe I ask our analyst very quickly your opinion, the Electoral Act and of course its performance at the by-elections and the council elections at the FCT.
Thank you.
How would you rate that?
INEC scored 0. As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't the PDP, the APC, all these guys that were on the ballots. It was Joash Amukbiton that was on the ballot, and it scored 0 votes. Let's not even talk about logistical issues. Let's talk about IRF itself. Amukbiton has told us now in clear and uncategorical terms that he can still mess with us, even with IRF. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about here. The law says that you must upload results after the election, like immediately after the election. Elections often end by 2-3 p.m. in Nigeria here. And, go and look at past results. Past elections results began to, pop up around 2, sometimes in some cases 1 o'clock. I didn't see any result on IRF until around 6 o'clock. What happened? Did they deliberately lock it down so that they could alter figures and now begin to upload?
Could that be the Nigerians' fear of service providers and network?
Not service providers.
INEC hasn't said anything.
We are talking about
that
Abuja here. We are talking about the country's political base. Where you'd expect to find the finest technology in the country. And yet, INEC did not upload a single result until it was hours after the election. My fears became real when I saw some, result sheets posted on INEX IREV. The alterations would wow you. I saw a particular polling unit where the presiding officer, in my opinion, should be in jail right now. The total number of people who cast their votes in that unit were now up to 300. But guess what? One party scored 1,211, the APC. You, with your own hands, total number of voters, whatever. And just one party scored 1,211. And the Electoral Act says that should the number of voters exceed the total number of people
registered,
you are going to jail for 2 years. And I'm a bit of saying anything about that.
Well, maybe the jail, maybe the padlocks have been unlocked. Just to throw.
No, in all seriousness, you cannot just throw the person into jail. You'll have to bring the person to court. Has that person appeared in court on Saturday? In all seriousness, Amukbiton is beginning to prove to us that he is far worse than Mahmoud Yakub. And it is unfortunate because this is a guy who parades himself as a professor of law. A professor of law sitting atop an agency that is violating the law.
Let's say comments on Facebook. Sulaiman Sharif says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. Why January time for presidential and National Assembly elections? By the 16th of January, a great number of people who traveled out for Christmas holidays may not have fully resettled back to their base. So this schedule will indirectly disenfranchise, so especially many Christians. It should be reviewed. I mean, if we can have the argument of Ramadan, how much more? Let's take a look at.
In all seriousness, we are crazy in this country.
From Sulaiman Sharif.
You hear some things and you get to wonder. I mean, how exactly could someone have come up with something like this? Like I said,
but if Ramadan can be a factor,
that is it. If
this is 16th of January, and I know that in this part of the world, when you plan events in January, people would tell you, can you move it to the first week in February? Or probably the last week in January?
That is why I said we don't take this country very seriously. Chief, I said something when it was Ramadan and the noise was all over the place. I said, people who were complaining then, oh, it's Ramadan. Tell them, Chief, as you fast, so carry that flat belly, come this place, come collect $1,000. You won't be able to manage the crowd. But if it's voting in an election to take your country forward, I'm busy. I want to go to mosque. I want to go to church. It was, now maybe they will have to bring it to November.
At that time, we'll also be approaching the Utah season. So that may also be a challenge. God
will forgive all of you.
Adeda Molala Okulola says, beautiful morning to you in the studio. On the announcement of the general election date, it's like INEC is putting things together for the success of the next election. I want to urge Nigerians further to get their voters' cards and vote for credible candidate. If we refuse to vote, the leaders we don't want, will keep ruling us. To INEC, Nigerians are looking up to you to deliver free and fair election come 2027 election. Thank you. Thank you so much, Okunlola Adedamola, right there on our Facebook page. You too can drop your comment on Facebook, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook.
I mean, sometimes when you hear Nigeria speak about God, you feel like, oh, those guys must be exceptionally godly in that country. But the truth of the matter is that we are not. We are not. These people who are saying, oh, it's the Yuletide season, oh, it's Ramadan, gather a number of them. Give them money. Oh, go and organize something for the same people you claim to be fighting for. And trust me, the money going to voice me sharp.
All right, let's take our next story for today. Leaders of the opposition African Democratic Congress, ADC, and the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, on Thursday mounted fresh pressure on the National Assembly demanding an immediate amendment of the Electoral Act 2026, which they described as anti-democratic and screwed ahead of the general elections. The Senate, however, swiftly dismissed the agitation, advising opposition leader Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Rotimi Amechi to pursue their concerns within the framework of the National Assembly. Speaking at the press conference in Abuja, the national chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, Ajuji Hamid, said the contentious provisions must be expunged without delay. Under the Electoral Act 2022, political parties were permitted to nominate candidates through direct primaries involving all registered numbers, indirect primaries conducted by delegate or by consensus agreement reached by the party. However, the 2026 Electoral Act recently passed by the National Assembly and assented to by President Tinubu on the 18th of February restricts parties to only direct primaries and consensus options here. All right, the headline says Electoral Act, Senate reject fresh amendment as Atiku Obi Amechi push back. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, Mr. Salami from Awoto. Thank you for calling.
God bless you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good
Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Morning,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Sonny. You know, yesterday, I just listened to the new IG's this speech, will I call it, that will prioritize the welfare of his men. And, definitely, because just as we remarked yesterday, prioritization of the welfare of the men of the force is crucial to their performance. And we can only hope and pray that he will have that, he will have the enablement to do that, and that his men too will reciprocate that gesture to the nation by doubling their efforts, by being more transparent in handling issues, by being more committed to the country. They are committed already, because I was reading yesterday how a gallant officer was shot simply because he dared to face armed robbers on his way, I think, along Makodi area, kind of. So for me, we have very good officers, honestly, men and women of them too. I can only hope that at least that gesture will spur more into gallantry. That said, you see, on the issue of Amukbiton and Warabi, I want people to note one thing, and which is the Abuja municipal election, what's it called? It's not too different from the state conducted local government elections. I think you understand. So it's like the only difference is that while the state is conducted by the state electoral body, INEC conducted that one. But we all knew that, of course, it was INEC and Wiki that decided the winner of that election. So that is that. However, I want to appeal to Nigerians, because I can see a number of people have been kind of raising doubts about the new date of a presidential election in January. See, my dear brother, one thing that I've seen that is lacking in us Nigerians is patriotism, honestly speaking. Anybody who is patriotic enough will not mind. Of course, there are usually mass exodus from Abuja to east, from east, wherever. But then, if we are patriotic enough, once in 4 years, I don't think we should find it difficult to kind of sacrifice for our nation. Believe me, sincere, honestly speaking, I have no problem with some other people, some maybe presidential, but honestly speaking, I know some members of the National Assembly are not supposed to return to that assembly. And they can only do this if people come out, especially the elites. And thank you very much yesterday, Mr. Lee, concerning and your anchor woman.
Yes, sir.
As two people echoed the issue of participation, voter participation. That's the beauty of democracy. Robust voter participation. When by the time we are able to do that, by the time we come out en masse, you see that even INEC will be afraid to even manipulate, honestly speaking. But if we don't go out, if we still allow these market women, artisans and conductors to see it as their own game, nobody should complain about the election. Nobody should complain about the governors. Nobody should complain about the leadership style we get at the end of the day.
All right.
May God help Nigeria.
Amen.
Thank you. God bless
you. Thank you. God bless you too, Mr. Salami from Wharton. While Mr. Salami was speaking, there's a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. That's Benga Mairo, right?
Benga Mairo calling from Akata.
All right, Benga. Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much. See, on the issue of the new date that INEC has fixed for the election in 2027, I want to ask Mr. Ralikon, sir, is there any convenient month or date that can be fixed for the election, such that there won't be grievances or feedback responses from we Nigerians? That's number one. Because look at somebody that it's something you read from the Facebook page. The guy said most people that have traveled, that by that 16th of January they wouldn't have returned back to their base. That is stopping anyone from returning back to his base that are 16th. So you have to go to work. If you are working for the government, you are working with private sector by 16th. You have gone back to your base, and that's the question. Number two, Mr. Sonny said that a particular on the election that happened in Abuja, that that there was an inflation of that inflated the result of a particular polling unit. And you know the infraction in that, sir? One of the infractions is that according to the law said that in such a situation, the polling unit officer will have to be jailed for 2 years or with an option of fine of 5 million naira. So I want to tell you, sir, that is there any politician that will not have 5 million naira to pass away with once the police officer is taken to the court? It's an infraction on our electoral law, which should be seriously changed. I think these are the infractions that we have in the electoral law. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Gbenga. I mean, if you do my kind of job by the 16th of January, you have long forgotten about the holidays. That's if you had one. Anyways,
I was here on Christmas Day. I was here on New Year's Day. Man, I don't know what occupies our head actually. Talking about the opposition politicians yesterday, man, I saw them. Some PDP guys were there. ADC majorly.
Okay, there's a call on this other line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, West Radio.
Yes, good morning, Mr. George.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
You see, I heard yesterday that the opposition party are protesting the electoral law signed by the president. Like you have said, I think it is a waste of time for them to start protesting. Instead, they should start strategizing on how to face the election so that we'll be able to do what we have been talking about since, to make sure that they don't win again. Because if you start worrying about something you know you cannot change, you will use all your energy protesting, and in the end, they will still do what they want to do. So let us start strategizing on what we're going to say, how we can carry the public along, so that we'll be able to win the election. If not, these people are not ready to listen to anybody at all. That's my take this morning.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. George.
For me, it's not about, do this, do that. Because someone like Ababu is actually regretting that Nigerians have electronic transfer as the main medium of vote transmission. You are saying that, repeal, reenact, all of that. That's not going to work. My main concern, my main grouse right now is that even if it were to be electronic transfer all through, we now know better that is no guarantee for a credible election, minding what we saw in Abuja. Rather, I believe what these guys should be saying is that they should be, please pardon the word, blackmailing INEC right now, calling INEC out. INEC, you guys failed. You had an opportunity to set the record straight, but you bungled it. Now prosecute, even if it is ₦1 fine, at least you know that someone is paying right now. 5 million, the truth of the matter is I would rather prefer 6 months jail to 100 million fine. So let's put some people where they should be. That is what we should be talking about. I mean, they should be talking about how to get some people prosecuted, how to make sure that INEC is going to understand that, okay, Nigerians now understand their game. They should be telling the people that on the day of election, make sure that your presiding officer uploads the election before he leaves. Not just that he uploads it. You are going to log in on IREV, see that the result is there before he leaves. These are the things they should be telling their people.
All right. Thank you so much. That's all we have on the show today. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for
it. Is always an honor to
all right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ayo State. That's all we can take for today. The weekend wrap-up of Perspectives Unlimited. To join Chukwemeka and, of course, the men on the round table tomorrow by 8 o'clock to review some of the fresh stories and perspectives, flying around in the political scene in Nigeria. Remember, the goal of all of this is to ensure that we keep talking, we keep moving. A conversation is never to bring down Nigeria. A conversation is to always ensure that we uphold our nation, we uphold the right values, and we build Nigeria together. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. I pray that God's presence be with you all through this weekend and beyond. God bless you. Up next is AM Sport. Lizette Femi-Oloyade is here.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities.